Is it all in your head? Yes, that's right. That is today's podcast. And I'm here on this lovely video with my good friend and new part-time co-host, Monica Spinkles Hawkins. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you very much. And I just have to say, my Aunt Louise texted me a few days ago, and in the text it said, Spinkles? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So that shows two things. Why am I Monica Spinkles Hawkins?
McHawkins.
Oops. That was my maiden name. And
Your
it
maiden
shows that
name was
people are
McHawkins?
watching. It shows
That,
that people are watching.
they know who you are. You are infamous. I mean, famous. Monica, welcome to No BS Talk.
Thank you, Julie. I'm happy to be here.
Yes,
And
I'm
I'm
super happy to
learning
have you.
about BS. Thank you.
Yes. Well, aren't we all every single day of our lives? So we are recording this video today because we are, as you can tell, in two different locations. And we tried to use the Zoom to Facebook Live mechanism
Stream.
function. And it didn't work well for us. At least we don't think it did. If we were on, we apologize. We don't, we were not being very bright if we were on. So anyways, Monica and I are going to talk about a few things today. First of all, let's start with Monica is the lovely representative from Modair that has given Brad and I some products to try. And I'm about a month and a half in now, I think. I finished one whole lean body system. I finished the bottle of trim and I finished the activate and the burn. So I guess that would be a month would be normal.
Yes,
Okay.
30 days. Yes.
Awesome. So Monica has asked me to, before we came on, I was saying what I thought of the trim. And not only it's got collagen in it and it's got CLA, I think is what it's got in it. And a bunch of other wonderful things that are not only good for your body, but essential for your body. And as Monica has shared, Monica, share why your liquid collagen, before I go into my little tirade, why your liquid collagen um, is a really good thing to utilize, not only because of the body, but why specifically your liquid collagen is better.
Specifically our liquid collagen is because of the way that it's made with the HA matrix, with the hyaluronic acid, matrix within it. If you can imagine a chain link fence, and then some of the collagens out there, some of the powdered collagens out there, when you mix them up, because the molecules are smaller, imagine throwing a football through a chain link fence, and then imagine throwing marbles. Ours is like the marbles. It gets through the stuff to get into our body so that it starts working right away. And that's why when you take the collagen, you pour it in your teaspoon and put it in your mouth and you kind of swish it a bit so that it starts to absorb like under your tongue and so on and so forth. And then it absorbs into your body.
That's awesome. And I love that you brought up that topic, actually, the difference between other people's and not everybody. Like there's good products on the market. Don't get me wrong. But we do need to know our products. Now, the fact is that in every area, but we're talking about the BS specifically in supplements at this very moment, I have done a lot of research on supplements personally, and as well as actually doing the research on it because I wanted to know for clients. And there is a lot of product out there that you might as well not take at all. It's simply not absorbable by your body. So you really need to do your research. You really need to know what it is that you're looking for. And biohacking. When you're biohacking, which taking any supplementation is, the gateway to biohacking. When you're biohacking, you should be measuring your results. So for me, with this liquid collagen that Monica shared with me, for many, many years, I was a distance runner and my knees just really are not my best friends a lot of the time. So what I noticed is that the grinding in my knees is like it was audible and painful. And no longer is it audible. And I can absolutely run without wanting to cry. So side note, at one point in my life when I was distance running, because I'm stubborn, I had so many body parts wrapped just so I could go for a run. I had a brace around my hips. I had my knee wrapped and I had my other ankle wrapped. And I'm like, off I go. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. And if you're at that point, take some freaking liquid collagen.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Exactly. I have graphics which also show that the collagen works with the cartilage around the bone so it doesn't grind that way and so forth. And for me, I mean, I could jog, but I just, I just don't want to.
You like to do other things with your joints and knees. I get it. I understand.
Exactly.
We've had that
Exactly.
conversation as well. Anyway, so I was going to say that I've taken the one lean body system and I'm committed to being on it for a few months, see how it goes. So the lean body system also has liquid collagen in it. It's just a lesser amount of it than if
Yes.
you were to take it just by itself. And I'm on the second month now, and I got to try a new trim. So the trim is something you take in a tablespoon every day. Is there a specific time? I take it
Every
mid
morning.
morning. Yeah, I take it mid morning
Every
myself.
morning. Yeah.
Now, what is there a reason to take it mid morning? And if there is, do you know the reason?
Well, the reason is because that's the way that it best works on your body when you wake up and powder your nose, and then you start your day by taking the trim. And the trim has a product in it that shrinks the fat cells, and it also protects with the if you're eating fat, it doesn't it like makes it
A
so that it
barrier.
slides off. It doesn't stick.
Slippery
And
fat. That's what we all want.
that's why I've learned from the people listening to the people with Modera, you can suck in your gut, but you can't suck in your back fat. And I'm proud that my back fat is saying bye-bye.
Okay, side note. I know this is no BS talk, but you have to go to Monica Hawkins' page and take a look at her before and after pictures. She has done a phenomenal job. And
Thank you,
you can,
Julie.
without question, a product like this helps support you, but you still have to do the work. Monica has been a superstar. It's just a lot easier to do the work when you're not having the cravings. So thank you to Modere for
Exactly.
that. Okay. So I opened up my second month of the lean body system, and the trim is flavored and you get to choose a flavor. So the first month I chose the vanilla and it was really good. And then the second month I chose chocolate, and chocolate tastes exactly like chocolate pudding. And then I'm like, well, I thought the vanilla tasted like chocolate pudding, but it doesn't. It tastes like like vanilla pudding. It tastes like vanilla pudding with condensed milk in it. It's just up leveled, just that much more, and it's freaking delightful. So I might just buy that for a treat moving forward. I just need
Exactly.
something. You know what? Actually, that's hilarious because even if you weren't like right in the middle of trying to lose weight per se, it's a good thing to take the trim by itself just from a maintenance point of view, because it does have the collagen in there, because it does help you with the maintenance of the fat cells compared to and it tastes freaking delightful. So yeah, so
That's
reach out to
that's
Monica.
that's the truth. And the thing about the lean body system, it's for body composition. Someone
Mm,
would look at Julie and say, oh my gosh, now why does she need to lose weight? It's not about losing weight. Two human beings side by side, I'll just say two females side by side, they each weigh 150 pounds, different body compositions. A pound of fat weighs the same as a pound of lean muscle, but a pound
mhm,
of fat takes up that much room and a pound of lean muscle takes up that much room. So it's
absolutely.
all about being healthy. It's not about losing weight. I haven't stepped on the scale. I don't even know if I've lost weight. I'm sure I know I have,
Right.
but it's more the other stuff.
Absolutely. So that's awesome. So thank you very much for introducing us. And I know that Brad, as you noticed, Brad is not here. Brad has gone, he's dabbling in some other things right now. Well, more than dabbling, he's doing some other things right now. And he'll be back as a guest once in a while. But he has been trying the collagen and some of the skincare. And he actually off camera, he's like, well, I've actually really noticed a difference around my eyes. I'm like, why wouldn't you say that on camera? So I'm going to say it for him. And then when I looked at him, I'm like, oh yeah, crap. There's like, we all get lines here sooner or later. Some of us sooner than later. And they're flatter on him. So I use the skincare as well, but I can't say that this is all skincare. I'm just saying. We have secrets. No, we don't. Anyway, All right. So on to the next topic. Thank you so much. That's one of Monica's many things that she does. She has been helping us with No BS Talk as a moderator on Facebook, which is like super brilliant. Um, and but today we're going to talk about the podcast that we released this week. And that is how I started with Is It All in Your Head? So, Monica, you have listened to the podcast already. It came out on Monday. Moving forward, I'm going to schedule the podcast to go out on Monday. And holy moly, please reach out if you want to be on a podcast. But I have a list of people that I am interviewing. Super exciting. So thank you so much for those of you that have reached out. I'm really grateful. So you listened to the podcast, and what are your thoughts? What's your feedback on the podcast?
Well, I really enjoyed that your guest, you could tell she was passionate about what she did. And it was a
Yes.
great conversation, even though you were both hypnotherapists. She focuses a lot on quitting smoking,
Hmm.
whereas you don't.
Right.
So it's just like, anything you go, there's apples, you want to choose an apple. Not everybody chooses the Granny Smith. You choose, a different one. Not saying you're a Granny Smith, Julie. However, it's all
Hey.
about, okay, you are no. It's all about the choice. It's all, and that's the thing. That's what I feel that you are bringing light to, is that we all have a choice, but we all have choices, and we don't always have to choose. It's just like vanilla this time, chocolate the next time, whatever,
Right.
right? So, and there was a couple of things that I noticed, and it just, that's what it was. When something happens to me, what emotion am I in?
Your
Before,
go-to.
my go-to emotion, before it used to be, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Why are they mad at me? Whatever. And what I did was I perceived what the person was thinking about. And half the time it isn't even that. So now my go-to, I have to admit, it's that way for maybe 5 seconds. And it's just, okay, I'll assess. I'm fine. I'm good. If they want to have a conversation, it's all good. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to beat myself up. So
That's
I
awesome.
really like that.
That is really awesome. And that actually ties not only into the podcast, which it's all in your head, No BS Talk. It's on Spotify, it's on Buzzsprout, it's on Apple iTunes, it's everywhere. We're everywhere. Um, but it also ties into the video that I did last week about the energy vampire. You just really described it really well, because energy vampires aren't always a person. Sometimes it's a situation, and sometimes it's
Mhm,
an emotion. Like
mhm,
an energy vampire can come in many different forms. And you just described exactly what I was describing in the video. How, in the video I talk about a word, and how that one word can trigger us, and it just closes us, and we get tighter and tighter. And you're saying, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, that in the past somebody would say or do something and you'd get tighter and tighter, and then you're like in survival mode, right?
mhm.
And now when somebody does something that triggers you, you go, oh right, this is just me, this is my trigger. I don't have a freaking clue what they're going through right now. So, and then you can relax your shoulders again, and you can actually feel that in your chest. You can feel yourself open up and be more, your energy is more fluid. And that's where we all want to get to. We're not going for perfection here, people. We're going for a better experience, the better human experience. um couldn't help myself. So thank you, that's awesome. I am going to surprise Monica with a couple things now. I have already recorded next week. So that's November 2nd and November 9th are already recorded, and Brad has done the audio. He's going to continue to do
Awesome.
the audio work for me, which is brilliant. So they're just going to be uploaded, and they're just going to come out as they do. I've scheduled it. I'm a machine now. Anyway, next week, I had interviewed somebody that I met through the biohacking circuit at the beginning of this year. And he calls himself Uncle Mario. So that's unclemario.net. Look him up. And he has written a book called Corona Proof Your Life. And I am super excited for this conversation to come out, because it may or may not be what you think it is. And it was born of, okay, are we actually ready for something like a pandemic or anything else to take us sideways? How many of you are ready? Monica, did you feel like yeah, no, I'm ready. I got this.
Honestly, No, because I don't know what to expect. I was at a networking event that we had, and it was at the same place where voting was. And so all of a sudden, there were all these people in masks. And so I thought, oh, I was going to vote anyway. So I went in and I stop here. It was literally stop here, wash your hands, do this. And I honestly, with my mask, I felt like I was finding it hard to breathe, not because I was wearing a mask, but because I just felt so like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine people who actually have had to live this way their whole life forever. And there's so many things in Monica's little world. This is because this is what I know, and all these things I don't know. And then when I'm subjected to them, it's freaky. And then I was in a pissy mood. And so then I was thinking, what the heck is
Get close.
wrong? You know, exactly. And then I had said to somebody, thank you. And instead of saying, I'm really sorry I was in a pissy mood, I said, thank you for understanding that I was grumpy. And then somebody says, oh, Monica, you never get grumpy. And it's like, I sometimes do, you know, and we always try to put our best foot forward. And I mean, so no, I'm not ready for a pan. I don't know what to expect. I don't want to save up on toilet paper, but at the same time, I want to make it the best human experience possible that I can. So
That's awesome. So that's kind of Mario does he's written this book that's kind of like a manual, and he does a course, and I've read the book and I've taken the course, and it's everything from whether it's coronavirus or something else, whatever takes us sideways, there's certain things that we need to be prepared for as human beings. And what was really interesting is um I was prepared for most of them, and the only thing I wasn't prepared for is being single in this time.
mm,
If I'm completely honest, that's what took me sideways is the time alone. And I love my alone time. Honestly, half the time I tell people that I'm busy so I can spend time alone. It's not that I don't like my own company, but when you don't know how long it's going to stretch on for and you're like, "Wow, I really am an island now." It's huge. I already like I had the savings. I wasn't worried for, that. I had um I can't say that I had a lot of groceries, but honestly, I could live on protein powder, so I could care less about groceries. Um, so I was okay in that way. But yeah, after like the first month, I'm like, holy crap, like I need humans. And yeah, so that was for me, that was the big deal. Really starting to take care of yourself completely holistically. It's what I teach, but I've learned slightly more effective ways to completely take care of a human now due to the pandemic. So pat myself on the back. Yeah, I'm learning. So that's good. And check out next week's podcast, November 2nd, on corona proofing your life, but also go to unclemario.net.
that's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing that one too. I really liked the last one, and it was half an hour. Just take a
Yeah, I'm
listen.
trying to keep them to half an hour.
Yeah.
Ish. And it's funny because when because we were doing the live radio show and they had to be an hour, and then we opted to go into podcast platform so that we didn't have to be as specific about times and dates and all that kind of stuff. And then it didn't have to be an hour, so we're like, half an hour is good, and then they're all half an hour. I don't time it, it just is. So as I mentioned, there is one other, I've already got another podcast for November 9th, and I titled that one The Death of Retail.
Hmm.
And that also is, I had somebody reach out to me, and his name is Harris Morton. He is from Baseline Processing. So that is a processing firm like Moneris or any of the other people local to Vancouver. And you guys got to listen in on this one because he had some really interesting content, some things that I think will surprise you. One of the things that I will bring up right here and now, because I think it's super important and relevant, and I think you'll agree, Monica, is we talk about shopping local in there and how, you know, he's been in business since 2011, and that was the time when the big box stores were really coming in strong and knocking the local people out. And now the big box stores stayed open, but some of the local guys did too. And I found that I was purposely shopping local, and it was almost by accident. It was kind I don't want to go where everybody else is going. I'm going to go to this little I don't care if I can't get exactly what I want. I'm going to go to the little boutique stores. But then I brought up something again, Monica, this is where I think you'll probably agree. Shopping local doesn't always mean walking down the block. I'm an online business. Monica's an online business. We're still your local. So instead of, going online and just choosing somebody from wherever to purchase your skincare from, to, get hypnotherapy or any of the other million things that I do, think about who's in your community. Think about who you see maybe on Facebook every day, right? Talk to those people first. And I don't care if it's me or another person that you see, but think local, and you'll just support your community, which is what we really all want to do.
I agree with that 100%. I network a lot. I am a leader of Connect Now Business Network, and I'm also a leader of Resilient Women in Business, which is local in the Lower Mainland. And I I find it important, like, why do you come to this meeting? I find out, and it's got everything that the person who attends is looking for. Some people love networking, some people don't. It's getting to know people. It's not just, oh, this person is a hypnotherapist, and well, find out about this person, find out, know, like, trust. That's what it's all about. It gets down to being, in a way, like, I'll just use the Nike swoosh. Everybody knows without the words Nike, just the swoosh, you know that that's Nike. Certain things, you know that that's what it is. That's because it gets themselves out there. And a lot of smaller businesses don't have that platform, of course, but that's why it's important to spend some time to get to know the people or the products that you're looking for. There's other skincare companies out there. I personally love mine the best. You may not, but if you don't know what is out there, how can you make that decision?
You know what? I have a really clear indicator of that. So my mom has purchased some of the products, and a friend of hers purchased some of the products, and I'm using the skincare, and you're using the skincare, and we look phenomenal. And my mom's like, I'm not going to buy the skincare. So her good friend that she sees on a regular basis, arguably daily, bought the skincare and loved it. My mom sends me a message. Marilyn loves the skincare. I think I'll buy it after all. What
Your
now?
mother is adorable.
What now?
I love you, Jean.
Like, seriously? It's so funny because my mom sees her every day. She like, trusts her. It's not that she doesn't like or trust me, hopefully. But she's not seeing us every day. We're not, you know what I mean? It's so funny to me that is so true, that, when somebody that you kind of, I think it's not only trust, I think it's almost a little bit of revere as well. Like, you look up to that person.
Mhm.
So she really, really looks up to Marilyn, which Marilyn's delightful. I don't blame her. And she's like, oh, Marilyn loves it too. Well, then I must love it. I'm like, chopped liver over here. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
So thanks, Mom. I'm not complaining. My mom is delightful, and my mom supports me wholeheartedly. And she's always putting lovely things on Facebook that I accidentally find. I'm like, oh, isn't that sweet? She doesn't say it to me though. Funny. Uh, she just sneakily says it. Don't tell Julie that I think this of her.
Yeah.
Her head will swell. She just wants me to fit in the camera frame. That's all. All right. And on that delightful note, thank you guys very much for being here. We will be back. Monica will possibly be back with me next week. She will definitely be back reoccurringly. We're never sure from week to week where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. We're going to try and do this live again next week. Wish us luck, or possibly give us information. Oh, before I go, I had an idea, and I just want to share it with everybody because everybody needs to know. I love doing this. I love interviewing people. I don't know if you guys can tell that this is like kind of my jam. I love doing this. So if you guys, and I promise I'll be much more conservative, if you guys want to get your message out and you want to do it in a video, let me know and I will interview you. A lot of people have a hard time with video because they're like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. But if somebody's interviewing you. It's just easier. So I'm actually considering making that part of my business where I interview you and it's your content and you can keep it and it will be done in the background that you choose. I'm just going to interview you so you get the best possible message out. So, just a thought. Monica, what are you
Yes.
working on this week? What do you wish people would reach out to you for this week?
What I would wish people would reach out to me for this week is, with my Modere side, finding out information, finding out how this can help you. I'm not out to just say, buy this, buy this, buy this. I want to find out what is good for you, what you need, and then the best way to get it. And also, I help people with their brand by putting their logo on unique to them promotional products and apparel. So if anybody out there in Canada, the lower mainland, North America, but mostly Canada, let me know. I can totally help you with that as well. And
That's good.
also, check out JulieTurner.ca, all her platforms. And it's great to like what she talks about, but do you really listen? She's more than just a pretty face.
Thank you so much, Monica. And thank you so much for being here with me today, Monica, and for supporting us forever and for making this look better and my knees look better. I'd show you my knees, but I might fall off my chair. We just don't want to end it that way. So thank you
Or
guys
do
for
we?
listening. Yeah, well, maybe we gotta do. Oh, one last thing.
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's always more. Okay, so my toe hurts. Just so you guys can have empathy for me, sympathy for me. My big toe hurts. And do you know why? Because I opened up my bathroom cabinet and my 12 times mirror dropped onto my toe. So not only does my mirror insult me every single day when I look into it, but then it drops onto my toe. And I thought I broke it at first. I did not. I think I'm okay. But I'm like, wow, wow. That's all I have to say. 12 times magnifying mirror. Again, if you don't own one, don't buy one. And definitely do not drop it on your toe. That's it. That's it for me today, Monica.
So, what's wrong with your mirror? And what's wrong with my mirror? And what's wrong with your mirror?
Perspective.
Means exactly. And that's the whole thing. It's people, look at people and, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. I actually received a beautiful email from somebody today. I reached out to her. She just recently lost her husband and a couple of weeks ago. So sad. It was a process. And I just reached out to her today because I went with my gut and I'm glad I did. She was having a tough day and we talked a bit. And then she said, thank you, Monica. You've been through so much shit. You've been through so much and your perspective, I really respect that. And I thought, that is who I want to be known as. There you go. I didn't really realize that. That's what I'd like to. So why would I go, oh no, it's like I said, thank you to this person. And that really, it made me know that I'm on the right direction. So, and not comparing myself to anybody. Julie and I are
No,
both talking, whatever. She has one way of doing things. I have a similar, but yet different way of doing things.
which is wonderful. We should all be different and bring our different selves to the table. That's what it's all about. This world needs us exactly as we were meant to be, not as our character. So
Exactly.
thank you guys very much. Come back and see us next week. Listen to the podcast. We'll have links below this video to get a hold of Monica. Please reach out to her, get a hold of me, and to, of course, watch the podcast. And have a great day. Thanks, Monica.
Take care. Thank you, Julie.
How do I do this now?
I think that's a standard leave.